A much needed episode of Raychullaneous, the video where I try to talk about stuff that's not video game related. So this week we're going to talk about dating. I have you guys send in some topics you want to hear me discuss, and a lot of you have been asking for just my random thoughts on dating gamers, dating non-gamers. So of course I'm going to have to talk about games in this episode. For me personally, I have to date a gamer. I don't see a future with any guy and me together that's not a gamer. Gaming is way too huge part of my life, and someone that's not a gamer just won't understand the gaming mentality, won't understand me sitting on the couch playing games for hours and hours and hours, and of course they wouldn't have as much fun watching me play a game or trading the controller back and forth so that we both can play. I need somebody I can play co-op with. I need someone I can talk games with. Again, there's no way I could date somebody that just doesn't understand games or the game industry. What makes a good game, a guy that doesn't know past good games, is just, I don't see how that would work. That's like if you were a movie critic, but you dated somebody that hated films, that didn't ever want to go to the movie theater, that really doesn't watch movies, haven't really seen many movies, or if like you're a big Star Wars fan and you write Star Wars fiction, whatever, you just do Star Wars stuff, and you try to date somebody that A, has never seen Star Wars, and B, never wants to. It's just not going to work. Also, what I look for in guys is a sense of humor. I've got to date a guy that's funny, and that can laugh at my really dirty and dark jokes. So, a potential boyfriend for me would definitely have to have a dark sense of humor, and not be too much of a prude, where my dark sense of humor and my very adult humor is going to offend them. I also don't like guys with a lot of confidence. I know, they'll always tell you that girls like guys with confidence, but not all of us do. I found that most guys that are really confident are those like cocky assholes that come up to you in the bar and they're just like, hey baby, and they just expect you to swoon all over them. They just expect you to sleep with them right away, and it's just ridiculous. I hate guys like that. If I go to a bar or a club, which is very rare, but you know, sometimes my friends want to go, so I'll go. I will be more inclined to talk to the guy that's standing in the corner that looks like he feels out of place and awkward in that setting, because that's usually how I'm feeling. Usually at a bar or a club, I'm that one girl that's sitting at a table all by herself watching everybody else, because I don't feel comfortable in those kind of situations. Loud music, people acting stupid because they've been drinking too much. You have to scream at each other to hold a normal conversation. That's just not fun for me. So yeah, I don't want a guy that's super confident, but I don't want a guy that wants to go to bars and clubs all the time. That's just not my scene. I want to sit at home and sit with a controller and either play on my computer or play on my consoles. I really don't want to go to a bar. So essentially, I just like guys that are big kids, big grown-up kids like me, and guys who can keep up with me in the dark sense of humor area, and most of all, a gamer. A gamer is a must. And a guy that likes collecting action figures or has a good-sized collection of his own, that is a huge plus as well. So along the same lines, what would be my perfect date? Of course, I first want to say if a guy took me to Disney World, but Disney World is not really a date kind of place. It's a vacation place. So we're going to revise that and say taking me to Disneyland would be a great date. Maybe not a first date, because if we're not going to get along or if there's just no connection, then we kind of have to spend all day in each other's company, which is awkward. But maybe like hey, we've gone out to dinner a few times, or we've seen movies together, we've hung out a few times, and we know we're both kind of interested in each other, then taking me to Disneyland would probably be the best date. Other than that, I am really just a simple kind of girl. I wouldn't mind jumping online and playing together. I think that is the best way to get to know somebody, is just jumping on the game. Mass Effect multiplayer, you know, there's tons of great games that you can jump online with them. Borderlands, Uncharted, stuff like that. Just jumping online and playing with them and just having little chit-chat and feeling out how their gameplay aspects work. Like how their gameplay aspects. I'm talking about them like they're a game. It's terrible. But just kind of learning how they play. Are they an explorer like you are? Or do they run off without you when you're playing co-op? Do they grab up all the loot? very, very important things you need to know about somebody and the way they play games before you get in a relationship with them. That's almost as important as knowing like how many past girlfriends they've had. How do they play their co-op games? Jumping online with them is a great way to find out. Yeah. Play some games with me and then take me to Disneyland. I'd be a happy girl. While we're talking about dating, I've got to go into a few little pet peeves of mine that is almost like a deal closer if I'm going on a few dates with somebody to get to know them. I hate knuckle cracking. Oh, it is such a terrible, awful sound. To me, fingernails on a chalkboard does not sound as bad as knuckle cracking. So, you know, if I'm on a date with a guy and he just sits there and starts cracking his knuckles, that's the best way to get me to associate you with disgusting sounds. Also, people that chew with their mouths open or are just loud chewers in general. Don't take a bite of something that's too big for your mouth that you have to chew like a cow. Nice little bites is where it's at. I'm not high maintenance though. I don't need you to pull out my chair for me. I don't always need you to pay for dinner either. Sometimes let me get it. Or if I invite a guy out to hang out, let me go ahead and cover it. Or at least let me get the drinks or let me get coffee, whatever. As a guy, don't think that I want you to pay for everything. And I'm not all about women's empowerment at all. At least for me, relationships have always just been better if we're both feeling like we're true player one and player two. Relationships shouldn't be, you know, who gets the highest score, who scores the most headshots. You shouldn't constantly be trying to outdo each other. It should be like the perfect co-op match. You both help slay the boss, you both share the loot, and you both upgrade your characters and level up to complement each other. That is the best kind of relationship. And that's why I only date a gamer, because only a gamer is going to understand that analogy. And that's it for this video of Raychullaneous. If you have a topic you want me to discuss, not a question, questions go to Ask Rachel, but a topic, go ahead and email me at rachelmore@gmail.com and put Raychullaneous in the subject line, and I'll get your topic soon. Thanks, guys.